is 12:11 p.m. on Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. I am in East Syracuse, New York.
It is Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. It's 7:47 a.m. I'm in my apartment in Queens.
It is 1:01 p.m. on Sunday, December 13th, 2020.
It is 7:40 p.m. on Tuesday, June 15th, 2020.
It is 11:33 a.m. on...
It is Sunday, February 28th, 2021. A comedian by the name of Tim Warner arrives in Austin, Texas.
So you guys, anyone in here still giving a shit? You guys doing that at all? Anyone still on Facebook? Fucking all angry? I hear you, man. I used to give a shit. I've taken batons to the head for beliefs.
At first glance, Tim may seem like your run-of-the-mill joke teller, but I can assure you that this is not the case. Because unlike most people, Tim lives out of the back of a 2012 Jetta. He's been on the road for the last 4 months, going from city to city, performing stand-up.
I am I'm in St. Petersburg, Florida. I am in Huntsville, Alabama. I'm at some fucking NASA space station. I'm in Dallas, Texas. Dealey fucking Plaza.
Along the way, he's been documenting his trip and giving us some insight to this vagabond lifestyle.
I'm gonna try to do my best to kind of show you the behind the scenes of what it's like to live in DeLion, which is what I'm naming my car after Joe DeLion of Wise Guys in Syracuse.
You know, you've got something. Let me tell you, you fuck. You know, you're over there and you're chewing your straw. You know, and for you, it's because you don't want to smoke cigarettes. But I'm sitting there and it's like, this motherfucker is over here chewing a straw, and I'm curious about how he's chewing the fucking straw.
It is fucking awesome that you're gonna be living out of your car, going around the country and fucking doing the thing you're doing and trying to quote unquote make it. I really feel like I'm doing the right thing. There's so many people that fucking help make this possible, and the goddamn support out here has been utterly overwhelming. You know, when someone's like fucking had a heart attack or whatever and they're dying and they rub those things. I'm not that smart, but they rub those things together and then clear. That's fucking happened to me from the moment I left.
So what could possess a person to do such a thing? Tim had a seemingly comfortable life back in New York. Why would he sacrifice that to sleep in the back of a Jetta?
The national anthem sucks, and that's my point. It blows. It blows. Like, if that song was any good, don't you think a finalist on American Idol would have sung it?
I had first met Tim at the Lucky Duck for open mic night. Out of the 70 comics who I had seen that night, Tim's set had resonated with me the most.
Guys, you ever see this profile? Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm really into music and traveling. It's like, yeah, so's everyone, Lisa. Do you have a flaw? Have you ever made a mistake in life? Have you ever done anything that'll give me a fucking boner? Jesus. Like, a lot of guys like tits. A lot of guys like ass. Not me. I like a mess. Okay? Anyone can be pretty on the outside, but can you be ugly on the inside? Because that's a fucking talent.
I didn't know anything about the guy, but I liked him. I went up to him and told him he did a good job. He offered to buy me a beer. As guilty as I felt letting somebody without a mailbox buy me something, I accepted, and we struck up a conversation.
I don't know if I'm any good with relationships. I think that's fine. I don't know if I'm good with women. Like, I don't know if women bring out the best in me, but I do come when we fuck, so I gotta be around something, right?
Tim's haircut and Kerouac lifestyle intrigued me, so I asked him if he'd sit down for an interview. He agreed, and we met up for an open mic night at the Blind Pig. Hey, Tim, you're on deck. How do you feel?
Empty.
Empty?
No, fine. I don't know what this is going to be.
don't know what this is gonna be. There's stuff that
I'm making a documentary. I'm making a documentary on the boy.
Tim Warner, are you here? Woo! Okay, yeah. Morgan Meanwell's on deck. Put your hands together for Tim Warner.
Here's one of the best jokes I have ever heard in my life. Okay. So Condoleezza Rice, Donald Rumsfeld, Colin Powell, Dick Cheney, and George Bush, they all walk into a room. And they write the project for a new American century, in which they say, in order to initiate change in America, we need a catastrophic and catalyzing event. Kind of like a new Pearl Harbor. And 9/11 happened. And there were 3 buildings that fell in New York. Building 1, Building 2, and Building 7. And when is Pearl Harbor? December 7th, or numerically written 127.
I find it hard to believe that this is one of the best jokes Tim has ever heard.
Oh, that girl didn't respond.
What'd you tell her?
I just said we were out on 6 for her to pull up. She didn't. She hasn't opened it.
Do you think she still wants to fuck you? Or?
I don't know.
Tim, how you holding up?
Good, man.
Good. Good. Tim seemed standoffish on the car ride home. I was worried he thought I was a poser because I had just bombed my set at the open mic.
Oh, you smoke weed? Do you smoke weed? Do you smoke weed? I'm trying to work the crowd. Can you do this for me?
I do smoke weed.
That's fucking sick. Alright, whatever. Fuck this. Anybody in the crowd want to feel my muscles?
Once we got back to my place, Tim smoked the devil's lettuce and we started talking about music. It seemed as if he was finally letting his guard down. And then just go YouTube.
Oh,
you see YouTube, it's right there.
Yeah,
it's right
I
there.
gotcha.
Okay. And then, you gotta work it.
And you'll see, like, when you watch this, dude, you'll see, like, okay, I can see where comedy comes from this.
Yeah.
Okay. There it is. We will rock you. This is fucking baller, dude.
Axl Rose, tribute Freddie Mercury.
Look at all those fucking people, dude.
Brian May. Of course he comes out in his fucking underwear too, like so Axl Rose.
Don't matter. Just listen to this.
After watching a live performance of We Will Rock You, it was time to get down to business. So, I'm going to speak to the camera really quick. This is my friend, a fellow comedian, Tim Warner.
Yeah, that's me. Most of the time.
Most of the time. Even though Tim was shorter than me, I was still a little bit intimidated by him. But it wasn't for no reason.
Yeah, because this is kind of weird, dude. Just because the mic situation. I'm not making fun of you guys or anything. The conversation's fine. It's just weird without a mic.
Is it because the mic's
not because of the comedy thing, like I'm used to holding a mic.
Oh.
It's just like, back in my head, I'm like,
yeah,
oh dude, you're not being loud enough because there's a thing going on.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Tim was a hardened man, even though his weirdly kempt hair didn't reflect it. He had spent his young adult years the way all great artists do, drunk. Unfortunately for Tim, this only made him homeless. He was forced to seek shelter in the seedy underbelly of Manhattan.
Had a tough relationship in New York City. You know, it was the kind of relationship that ended before the lease did. Never been in one of those, but.
Yeah, I was homeless in New York City. It sucks. You know, like I was saying earlier, you don't go day to day. It's hour to hour.
Yeah.
You don't live day to day.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, what am I doing this hour? 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 You know, you don't know necessarily when your body wants to move.
What led to that? So, because you moved there in 2002.
A lot of bad decisions. Not smart moves, you know.
Is it do you mind?
Inconsistent action. I was boozing pretty hard. I was doing a lot of drugs. Comics, to justify their alcoholism, knew I had nowhere to go. So it would take me out and end up spending New York money, you know, $40, $50. Because they wanted to drink, so it's like, hey, I'll buy it. You know, I don't have any money. I'll buy you drinks, Warner. Fuck, come on, man.
Despite not having a roof over his head, Tim was still finding ways to use and do stand-up.
There were these 3 tornado chasers in Oklahoma, right? They died in their line of duty chasing tornadoes, and the headlines the next day read, they died doing what they love. As if this is a big fucking surprise. Look, they died doing what they love. Oh. That statement bothers me because we could say the same thing for junkies.
I probably got the most tail I've ever got in my life.
When you were homeless?
Yeah, dude, without doubt. Got on the loose.
You were homeless and you would fuck girls.
Yes. Bartenders were the best because they have the best schedule for like homelessness. She was a bartender, and she would do magic, like illusions and shit.
Yeah.
And she would also she could do like a bunch of like, I don't know how to say it, like sexual like fucking shit. Like she would blow up this fucking balloon, and then like huge, fat, and then just take the whole thing down her mouth.
Oh my
God. The whole thing out. You know, after hours start, she does that trick, whatever. All these dudes gassed up on blow and drunk, whatever. They go, oh, see her, I love her to blow me, and. So they start throwing down cash, whatever else. And there I am in the corner getting free Hennessy's and Guinness, being the one that's going to go home with her anyway, just laughing at all these people throwing down fucking bread. They give her Coke, whatever else. I get half of it. Like, it's just fucking...
I was floored. Getting laid without a bed frame was hard enough, but Tim was able to do so with no room entirely. Courting women whilst homeless was enough to earn my respect alone, but the more that I talked to Tim, the more I realized he wasn't just your typical derelict Don Juan.
Do everything you feel, as long as it's out of love. It's not a bad decision. You do some shit to spite a motherfucker, then fuck you. You're the bad egg of that scenario. Someone asked me the other night, why do I do comedy? To contribute to the generations after me. Just like the generations before me did for me. The way Lenny Bruce, the way George Carlin, the way Richard Pryor, the way Sam Kinison, the way Richard Jennings, the way they influenced me. That's what I'm supposed to do here. The whole point of life is to leave this place better than what you found it. That's the purpose of life.
It's never been about the bartenders, or the money, or the having an address for Tim. In fact, the whole impetus of his being revolves around one thing and one thing only: comedy.
Sports, celebrities, politics, it's all fucking distraction to rob us from the true human potential that we could possibly be. We could possibly bend spoons, but we're too busy fucking worrying about Kim Kardashian or some other goddamn bullshit that has no fucking relevance to existence at all whatsoever. And that's the world we live in. And we choose to live in it. And if my species is going to choose to do that, my only defense mechanism is to mock it.
And do you think stand-up comedy is a good medium?
It's the last punk rock left. And when comedy dies, which is what they're trying to do, especially in my opinion in New York, that's when you just burn the books. So, like, would you want to live, like, take freedom, okay, but would you want to live in a humorless world?
I won't want to live it either.
You know what I mean? Like, take away the freedoms, and I'm in prison.
Yeah.
But I can still laugh.
I agree.
If I couldn't laugh,
I see where you're coming from.
Oh, dude.
I understand the importance Tim puts on comedy. At the end of the day, the ability to laugh, to find humor in the serious things, to take something bad and make it funny is imperative to making it through the monotony that is everyday life. Tim realizes the freedom of this mirthful art and has dedicated his life to it.
Voting in this year's election was kind of like choosing between the best glory hole. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, it's going to be frightening.
So 18 minutes I was on stage today.
Sure.
Okay? My whole fucking day revolves around that 18 minutes.
Sure.
Living in New York through the pandemic, Tim found it increasingly harder to pursue his passion. Strict COVID regulations coupled with a highly sensitive political atmosphere had turned the once bustling city into a comedic purgatory.
I escaped New York election day. I got yelled at by a bunch of SJWs over the summer for going outside and having fun. Yeah. And so then, unlike the SJWs, I voted for a woman and then been living in my car, traveling the country ever since. Huntsville, it's the home of the Trash Pandas. That's a baseball team, like a AAA or some shit or something. Maybe it's a softball league. No, I'm kidding. It's like AAA or something. But they're the Trash Pandas. And I didn't know what a trash panda is. A trash panda is a raccoon. And there's just something about that. If I was in New York City, there would be some fucking liberal, complete extreme liberal left who's drinking the vagina juice of AOC, some fucking Karen that would be like, you can't call them trash pandas. That's racist. And it's just, shut up. It's what they call raccoons because they're always in the trash and they have faces they kind of resemble pandas.
This led to Tim and many other comics around the country to seek refuge in a new city. A city Tim claims is on the verge of a new grunge of comedy. A city Californians want to move to so bad they're willing to pay $100,000 over home asking price. I'm talking, of course, about Austin, Texas.
So I just moved to Austin, Texas. And whenever anybody asks me why, it's kind of hard to explain.
Meet Jimmy Clifford. Like Tim, Jimmy has picked up his roots from New York and settled in Austin for comedy. Why? Well, I'll let him tell you.
Much like the 1970s New York with punk rock at the CBGB, Dirty Bathrooms, Iggy Pop, Blondie, the Ramones, Lou Reed, there was a certain energy of vibrancy to the scene. Comedy is about to explode in Austin. You can just feel it. You walk down the street, there's 15 comedy shows. There's something happening here.
I was asking you how you liked Austin, right?
Yeah, it's alright.
You said on Facebook that you were deciding to set up roots here.
6 months to a year at least.
Right.
If you're doing comedy, you're an idiot not to. Dude, especially now, you're about to see the grunge of comedy.
What do you mean by that?
Seattle. This is right now, dude, the reason why I would stay in Austin, even though I'm not like a huge fan of the place.
Sure.
Is this is Seattle spring '91.
For comedy.
100%. Again, I've been here 21 days.
Yeah.
Okay?
3 weeks.
I've been on Kill Tony twice.
And how long have you been in Austin?
Let's see, I got here March 1st.
Okay.
And, yeah, I'm at the Walmart on 290 if anyone wants to stop by.
Saw Chappelle 6 of the past 7 nights.
Guys, good to be back in Austin, Texas. It's good to know that Plaid is back in.
This is where I would be, man. Like, this is where I would be, and it's been 3 weeks.
With Austin comedy on the rise, it seemed as if every out-of-town comic with a set of balls and a dream was showing up at the next open mic. You have any job prospects?
No, my ex-girlfriend is a stripper, and I sell mushrooms. And my ex literally gives me like $200 or $300 a week. And I also came here with 2 pounds of mushrooms, and I make also $200 or $300 a week off of that. Okay. And I'm good. My sole focus is comedy from the time I wake the fuck up to the time that I go to sleep.
Hi.
Hi, come here. Actually, come here.
What's your Instagram?
Zareigns, Zareigns.
Everyone's gonna follow you. I'm gonna make sure of it.
Not to brag, but like 17 people are gonna see this shit.
But it wasn't just open micers who had flooded this prospering Austin scene. A slew of established comedians had moved in as well. Comics such as Joe Rogan, Tim Dillon, and Tony Hinchcliffe had all taken the plunge into Austin. Among these respected funnymen was a comic who would detour Tim's dreams and serve as a gatekeeper in between him and the recognition he so badly desired. Co-founder of the Joe Rogan podcast, Brian Redban.
It is 10:51 p.m. on Sunday, May 23rd, 2021. I guess I'm on the east side of Austin, Texas. It's like, honestly, it's like since Redban said that I'm too smart to be on shows. That has been something that's bothered me, and not because it's fucking Redban, whatever else. I get it. I've seen his act, whatever, fine. That's not the issue. The issue is just what the fuck do I do with that? What do I do with that? I'm frustrated, and most of it I feel is fucking self-imposed fucking frustration. Most of it.
Although I set out to make this documentary on behalf of Tim, I do understand the point Redban is trying to make. Sometimes Tim's comedy can tend to go over your head, especially if you're not one for conspiracy theories.
Early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Which may be true, but when did Ben Franklin fuck his slave? At night, when he told everyone to go to bed early so they'd be successful. We're kind of founded by scumbags. Trump is not an exception. They're all scumbags. I'm from New York.
77 minutes after takeoff, United 77 crashes into the 77-foot-high Pentagon on the 77th latitude. Doesn't have a punchline, but very well written. Very well written.
So you're kind of you're into like the conspiracies, right? So you go Happy Pi Day.
Yes.
It's all rituals.
Correct.
And then it's a,
Correct.
if you can number, gematria calculator.
Correct.
And it's 22 divided by 7.
Yes.
And then it says 314 divided by 8.
No. Alright.
Well, if you could just explain it to me.
Alright, real quick. Because the original God, Yahweh, thought that God spoke through words, numbers, and thoughts. Hence gematria.
Okay.
So, the fact that when language was made, that 22 divided by 7 equals 314. Like, for example, bones in gematria, 26. Okay? Skeleton, 101. And you go, okay, what's the big deal? 101 is the 26th prime number. Grave, 26. Graveyard, 101.
Okay. You also said here, I also predicted the Super Bowl based on the main event at Royal Rumble.
Correct. I said Tampa's going to win the Super Bowl, but it's not because they won the Super Bowl. It's because Kansas City lost the Super Bowl. That's
you
why
said
Tampa.
That?
Yeah.
How long ago?
I said it. You can ask what's his nuts, Mickey Houseman.
Should I look him up?
In his stories, Mickey. Out in his stories.
Who the hell is Mickey Houseman?
So Roman Reigns was from Florida, and he ended up winning, but it's not because he won. It's because the Kevin Owen guy fucked up.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're
So-
a wrestling fan also.
Yeah, a lot of things are tied together. I feel like a lot of things are scripted and written, and life isn't as coincidental as we all think.
Even though Tim still believes in professional wrestling, I do empathize with his frustration. Sacrificing everything to pursue your passion, only to be told you aren't cut out for it, would take the wind out of anybody's sails. But instead of giving up, Tim took a different approach.
Rest, you ready to be a next comedian? It's Tim Warner, everybody. Tim Warner.
Alright, let's go, baby!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're in for a treat. Earlier tonight, I was told the reason why I can't be on certain shows in this city is because I'm too smart. So I guess my question is, how come audiences are so fucking dumb? You're an audience, maybe you can help me out with this. How come when I do brilliant material about researching Event 201, none of you fuckers know about it? But yet you're going to judge me for trying to follow a dream and live in a car. Fuck you!
While somebody else in Tim's shoes might consider hanging it up, Red Band's remarks only fueled the fire. Tim, now filled with the desire to prove him wrong, has gone out and started his own show. He's created a new path in an effort to carve his way through this scene.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. This is incredible. This is incredible. By round of applause, how many people have seen me before perform stand-up by round of applause? That's great. That's great. That's great. A lot of virgins. That's good. A lot of virgins. Very good. Like, look, I'm white, okay? I'm on the inside. I get to hear everything they say. And there's a term that only white people use, and it's reverse racism. Ah, you heard this.
Oh, last night I went out and I dealt with reverse racism.
Well, what is that? Acceptance? I mean, that's the reverse of racism. Did you go to the projects last night? And everyone was like, holy shit, Tristan, thank God you're here. We made quota. Like, a lot of people think I moved down here to do comedy and to make people laugh and share connections and all that horse shit that comes with entertainment. No. I came down here to celebrate my civil liberties and freedoms. So, thank you so much, Austin, Texas. You can't do this shit in New York. It's illegal. They ban fun.
Tim's show was a success, and having witnessed it firsthand, I can attest that it was one of my favorite shows I had ever been to. But the reality of the situation still lingered behind it. Despite putting together a good show, Tim was still going to have to sleep in a Jetta behind the Walmart. He would still have to struggle with getting booked and making ends meet as a comedian.
No one wants to grow old. Nothing you can fucking do about it. Stop worrying. Nothing you can do. You know? Like, I think we all know this. We die at the end.
As he approaches the middle of his life, it's difficult to make out a tangible future for Tim, because quite honestly, the deck is stacked against him. As Tim draws near to almost 2 full decades of doing comedy, you have to ask yourself, will his big break ever come?
You're doing open mics. You're about to turn 43. Is there ever a time where you thought, like, fuck, dude, do I hang it up?
7 times today, dude. What do you mean?
Yes. Do I hang it up?
Yes, all the time. All the fucking time. All the time. Yes. I don't know about hanging up, but, you question, but what else am I going to do? What else am I going to do? Look, for me, it's different, dude. I see them lean forward. It's more than laughs. It's a connection. They see that. They see I'm not bullshit. They're waiting for me, dude. They don't know I exist yet.
Following a dream isn't always what it's cracked up to be. Behind every success story are hundreds of other stories of people who have failed. Tim, although an admirable man, might not ever make it as a comedian. His story might not end up being the fairy tale we all want. Rather, it's completely possible that he ends up a cautionary fable, a tale you tell your children to teach them about the harsh reality of life. That no matter how bad you want something, sometimes a dream is best left a dream.
I don't know. There's also, I'm not necessarily doing it to make it anymore.
You're doing it for the love of it?
No.
Then why else? Inertia?
No. Making it is such a... You end up finding out, dude, it's not this broad thing of like Burr, Chappelle, Pryor, whatever else. It's a very individualistic and very specific, unique thing. Like in a sense, dude, I've already made it. I had a kid write on one of my YouTube pages that he hadn't drank for 9 days. I don't know if he's still, but even for 9 days though, I made it. Right?
From the outside looking in, it's easy to confuse Tim's life for one you should take pity on, especially when you factor in that he doesn't know how to swim.
And you can't swim either.
Right.
Yeah.
But despite his less than ideal living situation, Tim is one of the most grateful human beings I've ever met.
You wake up at what?
5:55.
Sun comes up, you wake up.
No alarm goes off.
What do you do then?
Gratitude for the night before. Gratitude for the day ahead.
Is that comfortable or?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's not uncomfortable, but...
Tim is coming up on 2 years sober and hasn't touched a cigarette in over a year. He wakes up every day and gets to pursue his dream with no holds barred.
You ever heard anyone go, I'm going through a breakup? Well, that's bullshit, because the breakup already happened. What they're going through is a competition to see who's going to fuck someone else first. Right? I mean, come on. It's insane.
He has made strides in the local scene of Austin and has become one of the most well-known names amongst comedians here. Not only that, but believe it or not, I'm not even the first person to make a documentary on him.
I mean, if there's stuff I'd like to say, I don't know if I'm going to get the opportunity to.
Do you want them to pay attention or what?
It'd be nice, but, hopefully you earn it.
When looking at Tim's story, it's important to keep in mind that success is not always determined by the amount of money in your bank account or the ability to sell out arenas. Tim has found success in his own right. He's grown his audience, he's stayed clean, and he's developed relationships with a plethora of comics around the city. But questions of his future still remain.
Would you want that kind? Would you want like kids in the family? At the end of it.
I don't know if that would be loving. I don't know if I view the world the way I do.
Right.
For me to bring a kid into the world would not be a loving thing to do to my child. What do you say? And more likely too, I don't necessarily want to be with a white one, so I'd have one with a little bit of some kind of brown in it or whatever else, right? Okay. That's going to make a difficult life for them, where it's just like, hey, don't get shot by the cops, and don't get fucked over by the government, and I don't know what to tell you. It's just, this is how they fucking made the game to be. I don't know what I would say. Santa? Well, what the fuck, dude? What do you do?
As our interview began to draw upon 30 minutes past schedule, it became clear to me that Tim didn't just enjoy comedy as an outlet. Rather, it was a necessity to him. Well, if you had one message, I mean, we're fucking already half an hour over.
That's what happens when you talk to me. Every podcast. That's why I was like, you alright, buddy?
Yeah, well, we're half an hour.
This has been incredible.
It's so if you had one, if you want to leave, if you wanted to say one thing to somebody that watched this, right? What would you say?
Your life is truly not that long in the spectrum of everything. 80 years, it's fucking nothing.
No.
Live it. Fucking live it. Do not be scared to die. Be scared to not live. That's what I would say.
Although his story might not be heard with the same volume as those with a bigger microphone, it is of equal importance. In a way, Tim's story is the story of all creatives cast to obscurity. It is the tale of the musician in the vacant coffee shop, the painter in the empty exhibit, the comedian in the dingy nightclub. It is the ode of an unknown artist. This story is more than just Tim's.
Je vous en conjure, je me tape la tête contre les murs. Je n'en peux plus, je vais pleurer. Je suis foutu, ils vont me tuer. Au secours, au secours, au secours, au secours.
You know, I've shot outside like 8-9 times on this since I left November. I mean, to be honest with you, dude, I think that Lucky Duck show you saw me at.
Yeah.
I think maybe 40 minutes before I was in between a dumpster and a fence, fucking flopping a shit outside.
I wonder what the punishment for public defecation is.
I have no idea, but
Probably a little worse, not that much worse than public urination, but I'm guessing it's a little worse.
I imagine you go through more. It's definitely more thought out.
Yeah, it's kind of like second degree to first degree murder.
It's definitely premeditated. You know, you don't.
It's premeditated.
It's not like pissing where you're just like, fuck it. You know, so.
You got premeditated.